Hello and happy Friday to everyone out in the audience. Welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour, a show brought to you by the ServiceNow Developer Program, where usually we unwind, drink, and try to build something new. Obviously, we put the little parentheses around coding because today is a little bit different, but usually instead of like a well-polished demo, in this show, we really try to showcase the real development process with all of the bells and whistles of doing that in front of you, and usually not very rehearsed, to showcase a realistic building experience. However, today we are focusing on something that we are just coming off the tail end of, which is the Knowledge23 season. We are really excited to invite a lot of our developer MVPs to discuss the event, its highs, its lows, and in-betweens, and all the work that was put into that 20,000 person event. So before that, we're going to do some quick introductions because we got a lot of really talented people today. My name is Lauren McManaman. I am one of the developer advocates. It's the host of this show, and I will kick things off to Earl as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Earl Duque. I am a ServiceNow developer advocate also. This was my, I believe, third in-person Knowledge, fifth if you include the digital ones. So kind of becoming a semi-veteran for that. It's funny because some people are super new, some people are different years in Knowledge, so it's all just different for every person. I'll kick it off over to Martin.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. It's Martin Ivanov here. I am in the ServiceNow space for over 6 years now, currently working with Deloitte as a technical architect. Last year I was a rising star. This year I'm a double MVP, and it was my second Knowledge. And I came home so inspired that I cannot wait to share and explore the new things that we've seen there. And I'll pass it to Dhruv.
Hey everyone, myself Dhruv. I'm based out of London, working for Accenture as a ServiceNow architect, 3 times developer MVP. Yeah, Knowledge was a great experience, and we'll go in details for sure. But for now, it's you, Atul.
Hi everyone, my name is Atul Grover. I'm based out in London again, working with the DXC as a business process consultant, and people know me with my YouTube channel as well, Learn and Grow Together. First time MVP and attended the first Knowledge in Vegas 2 weeks back. It was too good. Over to you, Mark, now.
Hi everyone, this is Mark calling in from the Netherlands. Working as a freelance ServiceNow consultant, 4-time ServiceNow developer MVP, 4-time ServiceNow community MVP. Just back from Knowledge, but I can't wait until Knowledge 24. Great experience, but we'll go into that. And now up to Ashutosh. There.
Thanks, Mark. So I'm Ashutosh. I'm also in Netherlands, next to Mark, working with one of the insurance company within Netherlands. I'm also a developer MVP multiple times, community MVP multiple times. This was my second Knowledge. A lot of breakout sessions I did with Dhruv and multiple people. It was amazing. We'll share more about it because I have a picture with Bill. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, show off.
we will talk about that. But over to you, CJ.
I am CJ. I am 2-time developer MVP, one half of the CJ and the Duke podcast, also a freelance ServiceNow consultant, and I have a picture of Fred Luddy.
Man, y'all are just making me envious. Well,
I don't have a picture with anybody.
neither do I, or I'm sitting here empty-handed. But what I do have for today, I will kick things off with my drink of today. I thought that nothing better to celebrate about 6 months of planning than I got myself a little Corbel. So I will be drinking champagne today to celebrate our hard work and the fact that it's over. What about you, Earl?
The only thing you need to fix is the size.
So today I'm drinking butter rum espresso coffee drink, mostly because both Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda, and Diablo 4 came out recently, and I've not been sleeping this past week, so I've been drinking a lot of coffee, and so that's why I'm drinking this this week. Morning.
Right, it's almost midnight here in Bulgaria, and I'm having my Czech beer. So it's Bakalar, it's cold hopped, exactly the style that I love, bitter. So I hope it's gonna be good. Dhruv?
Yeah, I'm changing something. No, that's not gonna be there. So, so I've got some juice. It's a smoothie kind of a thing. Apple, passion fruit, mango, everything.
Oh.
Whatever I had in fridge.
That's multiple episodes in a row that you did not drink your drink of choice, and I'm kind of worried.
You're not going to snag a sponsorship
that would come as a surprise for you when I'll bring the Coke. So,
Okay.
Atul?
Yeah. So I'm having just a coffee with me now. Had dinner approximately halfway back, and again a coffee made by my wife. Thank you. Over to you, Mark.
I've got a Head of Jan Grand Prestige. I have no clue what it is, what kind of beer. It's just new. I haven't drank it before, so I'm just curious. Let's see. It's 10%, so yeah.
Would you just like find it underneath your bed or something? Where is it?
Just at the liquor store. So I thought, well, that sounds nice. So let's try it. Up to Ashutosh.
Suspense is killing me, Ashutosh. You're on mute.
Everyone drink. Everyone
that
drink.
was a suspense. That was a suspense.
Same as Mark, Head of Jan. Big fan of this beer. 4.5 liquor. Over to you, CJ.
Yeah, I just got a Diet Dr. Pepper.
That's fine.
It's still 3:30 here. I'm over in the Chicagoland area, and my kids have yet to make it home from school, so I can't. What I would be drinking if I didn't have to drive later, it would be an old fashioned.
Fair enough. Well, just so that you know, for the people, especially first timers here on the channel, usually we give our drinks a review at the end of the show from 1 to 5. Usually our point system is whether or not we've successfully coded the thing that we were attempting to do. And if we do that, we give it an extra 0.5. So we'll have to adjust our scale a little bit for today. But without further ado, let's jump in today because I prepped a ton of questions. I'm very excited to have you all here today because nothing means more to us, like as a company, and particularly to like our group, other than feedback. So for the audience out there, we are literally just 2 weeks away of having completed the Knowledge Conference, which is this massive event. We put it on usually just once a year. I see a comment that was saying we should do it twice a year. I think that would be the end of our entire team if that were the case. And I appreciate it, Martin. That means a lot, but I think it would do us all in. But because of the event of that scale, right, there's tons of things that happen and there's tons of things that we would like feedback on. So first of all, I wanted to ask our first time knowledge attendees, how did this compare to what you envisioned? Like, does this align, especially if you had attended digitally only, and this was the first like in person, how did it line up?
Who was it? Who on this call that was their first in-person knowledge? Is it Atul only?
Yes.
Yeah, I think. All right, this question's for you.
So for me, it was, I can say, a very beautiful experience because I attended one in Dubai, but it was not for the service. Now some other purpose I go there. I thought maybe some session will be there, a few people will be there. I go and meet them, but when I enter in Expo, it completely changed my mind. Lot of people in thousands, I get to know people, a lot of breakout sessions, and I can say a lot of networking was there. Means I was just busy seeing, oh my god, how many people are there I have to be met. How they get arrange everything, like starting from breakfast till evening, drinks, closing of the expo hall and going out, then again party after party after party. It was amazing experience. And again, I'll add one more point, because it was my first time in Knowledge, and I attended as a MVP. It was a beautiful experience. My wife asked how was the experience. I said I cannot explain in the words. This much respect I got. I can say I feel like it's an honor for me to become an MVP, and going in the Knowledge, attending the MVP dinner. It was too good, too good. Means it's still in my mind. When I sleep, I get some dreams. Oh my god, I'm doing this thing in Knowledge. I'm doing this thing in Knowledge. I'm going here. I'm going here. It's awesome. Only one word. It's too much awesome. It's good. Thank you so much once again.
Oh, well, that means the world. In fact, that also kind of ties into another question I want to ask later. So I will ask that now. So now to our returnees, how did this stack up to previous events? And also to people on the call, these are all members of our ServiceNow Developer MVP program. It's something you have to apply for year after year. I think you heard a couple of these gentlemen say this is their second, third, fourth year in a row getting it. And this year we tried very, very hard to include like some perks, right, of attending Knowledge as the MVP. So did we successfully make you feel like a most valued person in this community?
Of course, the dinner. How can I forget that?
Okay, so Ashutosh,
Yes.
you're talking about the dinner. Kind of give a rundown of what happened so that some of our viewers at home, because one of the things that we want to do in this, we have you all as MVPs appearing on our show, is entice our community into becoming more involved, being more in the community, right? That's all it is
Yeah.
that it takes to be an MVP for us. And so tell us about what you're talking about, because Atul mentioned this. Ashutosh, you're talking about the dinner. What dinner are you talking about?
So, as an MVP, we get, and if you are attending the Knowledge in person in Vegas or anywhere, you get a privilege to have a dinner with this elite group of MVPs, which helps you to share your ideas, do more and more networking. And for me, it was a different experience because I met, I think, Lauren, you first time, Chuck, then many other MVPs, for example, Robert as well. We used to follow these people from so many years, and meeting them in person was something very special. So that was one thing. What I liked about MVP dinner was we never felt left out. We were actually sitting on a round table where we were doing continuous interaction with one another. And being an MVP, we get this privilege to be in touch with these like-minded people. The other part which I like about the dinner was the awards given to the MVPs as well, and we recognize them within that elite group, which made us feel special. And last but not the least, swags. Oh my God, I can't express how the bag, jackets, and the how do you say, the pin, which we got. So this, yes, sir. The MVP badges. I like those things. I will end by saying that the communication which we had with each one of us, actually it motivated more and more to contribute towards the community more, because then next time you can be an MVP again and you can join the dinner again. So I will cut it short, Earl, but this was my experience.
I can
So in
build
the
on top
past,
of that.
people were contributing in order to bring something to the community. Now we are contributing in order to go to the dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go next. I've been connected with Chuck for like quite long now, and it was really hard to believe that I haven't met Chuck. And I got so lucky that we MVPs were organized in a round table, multiple round tables, and I was sitting right next to Chuck. Maybe because my name starts with D and his start with C, whatever may be the reason, but that was the moment for me. Ashutosh already mentioned about swags, learnings, and everything. But yeah, Meeting Chuck Robert was the key highlight, and that has simply motivated me more to contribute. And I request all my viewers, just contribute to community and give it a shot. You can be the next MVP as well.
And I will say it was very, we really much appreciated. One of the other perks was that during the CreatorCon keynote, the MVPs had like first pick of seating. And I very much appreciated y'all's support during the keynote. So thank you in advance for how kind y'all were during that as well. So wow, okay, we're off to a great start. So that was kind of overall, not over like just expectations, but also the specifics of being an MVP. In general, did you have a particular highlight of the week or something that you heard others raving about and you're like, shoot, I didn't get to go, but next year I will prioritize it?
Yeah, I mean, my entire knowledge experience was like was a highlight. I mean, if you guys like were to package up my knowledge experience, you could sell it as like the ServiceNow fanboys dream experience of knowledge, right? Like it was amazing. I mean, like you could see the guy behind me, right? Like in the in my virtual background, right? And I mean, we hung out a bunch, and I got a picture with Fred Luddy. Like, come on, like I got to meet Fred Luddy. That's just like. I mean, that's the top of the top for me right there. I got backstage at Knowledge at the keynote, right? I was in the green room. Like, I mean, come on. And then you walk in the expo hall, and what do you see? My face hanging from a banner in the rafters. Like,
heck yeah.
Seriously, like I'm saying, you can't script this any better. So, I mean, I guess if you were to ask me, like, what I'd like to see, like I'd like to just do it all again next year, like exactly the same way. It would definitely not be a letdown for me.
So CJ was one of the gentlemen that was also on a lot of the promotional like artwork all around the entire
Which
event.
I didn't know.
Did you? So I saw a bunch of people taking those banners down and taking them home with you. Did you bring yours home with you?
Yeah.
And if so, what did you do with it? I saw Chuck is using some as like a quilt. Like what?
That's interesting.
Fireplace cover. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing that I'm kind of flirting with is like a Zoom background, but I don't have any definite plans for it yet. But I do have it.
That's awesome.
That's too fun.
We even heard of one MVP taking a different MVP's big poster home as a joke, and then they're gonna mail it to them.
That's
really
awesome.
Cute. Any other highlights for anyone?
Keynotes. You can't. Sorry.
No, okay. So definitely, keynote was the one of the biggest thing for me, because sitting in the, I guess, 6th row on the day one when Bill was there, and then attended the creator keynote with Chuck and Lauren on the first row was a good experience. Means I was just going through the last year videos or the last year photographs as well on the LinkedIn and the Facebook, that how this thing happened. I am thinking, I will also get some seats on the front row, and it become true for me. Wow, that's amazing. And directly listening to the people or the leaders on the live, it's a completely different experience. Get to know a lot of things, see the faces to whom we just see on the newspaper cuttings or the LinkedIn posts or the ServiceNow websites, seeing them in front. It's good experience. I really like it on that part. Sorry, Dhruv, over to you.
No, I was just saying like the keynote was the key highlight, and the things that we saw. Actually, we have one stakeholder meetings at one of our clients, and we are using those videos, and we have asked ServiceNow to if they can present those Now Assist and all. So yeah, those things are still with me. The generative AI part, and I've written a blog about that as well. But Ashutosh can tell you better that how motivated and how crazy we have gone for last 1 week about generative AI, and how much we are acting as a uh, pain for some people who knows about AI, and that's what we are going for.
Well, that kind of leads into a good question. I always wonder. Oh, I'm sorry. Did someone have someone else they wanted to add? I apologize.
I wanted to echo what Dhruv said. The whole hype with the generative AI. The thing that I did right after going back home was check when is the release date of Vancouver's, because I am impatient to these things and create content over them. So definitely hyped, and this was for me the highlight. There is a fun story also with the front rows. We knew that we would have reserved seats, but we missed the small thing that it is going to be only for the creator keynote. So we assumed that we will have reserved seats all the time, and we were walking with Atul and Mark and Dhruv, and just found some empty seats on the front rows. And on all of the keynotes, we were on the front rows, just because we knew that we have some reserved seats.
Look like you belong.
Yeah. The answer is no until you ask. You know, if no one objected, I'd roll with it. That's a good piece of advice.
It was pretty cool because we were sitting like 3 or 4 meters from Fred Luddy. So yeah.
Right.
We're so lucky, man.
But Lauren, I can add one last thing maybe, and that was the PAC meeting which I had, the Product Advisory Council, because for me that was one of the key highlight of the whole knowledge, because I learned a lot. I was part of one Creator Workflows PAC. Oh my God. So it already gave me as a product owner now an idea what I should focus on. And that is why we were there in Knowledge as well, to learn more and more and to act for the future. And that was the moment for me.
And PAC stands for Product Advisory Council, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I'm an acronym fiend out here, always trying to find what the acronyms stand for. But that brings up a good point, Ashutosh. I always like to ask customers about the products featured in the content and if there was enough of it. So, like, for example, if you came to Knowledge with a goal to learn RPA, was there anything that you were seeking out that could have been better represented, like in the course catalog, or something that, like there was just one lab on that? I wish there was like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced version of that type of series.
Yeah. So when I look for the lab for that's a good point. Like Creator Workflows, RPA was part of it, and automation, more and more AI things. So with respect to RPA, definitely the lab level should rise, should go to more complex thing, because I think the labs which we did now in this Knowledge for RPA were at, I would say, intermediate level. But the things which I learned in PAC were more of advanced level. And that was the changing moment. So what you do in Product Advisory Council or learning that meetings is something different than what you learn in the labs. Because I think when we create lab, we make sure that they work. And that's the reason we keep them not advanced, let's say, maybe at intermediate level. And that's my key takeaway from this.
Anyone else?
One thing
Apart
that
from the labs. Yeah, so go to.
okay, one thing that I would have expected, like myself and Ashutosh were presenting on data filtration, and it was fully packed. People were standing, so we just expect that if there were more seats, then we would have been more happy. But I can tell you one story. Like when myself and Ashutosh were climbing those stairs, we literally had the goosebumps. Like, oh my God, there are so many people. I did not expect that much, but yeah, it was fun.
Like, I wish there was more chairs, but maybe not. Maybe like, yeah, it's a gift and a curse to have a packed audience. It's a gift because obviously so many people want to learn, but you're like, oh crap, this adds a lot more gravitas to the presentation. Cool.
And we came to know the success later on as well. So when I look at my LinkedIn and people asking questions around that particular topic, I think it was immense. And that tells us that, okay, our presentation went well because people are reaching out to us. We are getting a proper feedback. So I was really happy after that session, because the session previous to that, it was just before karaoke and people were just coming. So that session was not full and this was full. So we were nervous a bit, but then we handled it.
We handled it well, man.
I want to talk about that actually, because what a lot of people don't get to experience, not just being like, you're all even higher level than just being a speaker and stuff like that. You're MVPs at this conference. But a lot of people don't experience getting to be a speaker at Knowledge. And being able to be part of that is a great thing. And we're always looking for new speakers. We're always looking for people with interesting things to say about different topics. Where it doesn't have to be a lab. And for those that haven't been to Knowledge, a lab is you're actually bringing your laptop and you're following along with learning content and you're trying things out. We actually put all of our labs online, pre-recorded for people that can't get to the session or can't go to the conference entirely. But the benefit of having the lab at conference, at Knowledge, is that you can actually ask your gurus or you can ask the speaker clarification questions if you get stuck. That's the main benefit of it. But if you're thinking, hey, I know the gist of this, I got the lab guide and I can get this done, then you could start attending other stuff. And so outside of labs and stuff like that, or just regular speaker sessions, there's panel discussions, all those things, you can experience that kind of amazing feeling of, hey, I had this knowledge that other people, I had that knowledge that other people didn't have. And now I get to share that and I get to see the impact immediately. My talk was later on the Wednesday, the second day of the conference. And when I finished that talk, it took me an hour to move maybe 30 yards because I just kept getting stopped by people wanting to talk to me about my subject, the thing I was presenting on. I just kept getting stopped. And it was funny because a previous colleague of mine, Brad, was waiting for me to grab dinner with me because he wanted to like hang out. And we sorry, buddy, we're slowly inching our way from the very back of the expo hall where Theater 3 was all the way to the front. And we even had a little running bet how many times we would get stopped before we got to the entrance. And we set a line and he picked the under and I picked the over, and we actually got I won the bet by exactly one person stopping us at the very end, which was great. But seeing that kind of impact right away is a great feeling. And so if you're watching this and or watching this along through the entire from now to a year from now, like consider being a speaker. And not only do you get that kind of feeling of impact, but you also get knowledge of your knowledge pass comped. So that's also a nice benefit. So if it helps your business get you there, and maybe you're listening at home and you never got to go to Knowledge because your business has deemed it too expensive, that's a great way to justify being able to be going to the conference because you're a speaker.
1,000,000%.
A good advice here is think of a topic between the conferences, be ready, and once the window is open, just submit your session in the very beginning. Because what I did, I was postponing till the end. I submitted a session which was rejected, and I saw that in the catalog there is a session with the same topic. So if I have submitted my session early, maybe I would be the one to deliver it. But anyway, I was invited by the community team to deliver a session, and it was an amazing experience. I'll definitely do my best to be there next year as well.
One of the cool benefits too that we have, not even just for our MVPs, but we are still a community that's growing, and we still have good interpersonal connections amongst us between ServiceNow employees and our community. And so when it comes to CreatorCon or speaker sessions, if you're hesitant about what you should submit, or if you're not sure if someone already had submitted a topic on this same subject or something like that, we're not impossible to reach. So when it comes around to that call for content time, when is that usually around? Like December or January?
Yeah, it's like November or December, I think.
Yeah.
It comes pretty early, so get ready.
when that time comes around and you see that posting on different blogs and community forums, ask questions right away about like, hey, what kind of content could we fill? What kind of content would be interesting? What kind of content would get us approved? Because we know the people that would approve the content, so best talk to us about it.
Also, there is CreatorCon's call for content traditionally comes earlier than Knowledge. So that is a little bit of a hiccup in our system, is that our call for contents are separate. I think just to make the overall evaluation process a lot easier. But be mindful of that. So if you see CreatorCon and you miss it or something like that, just know that there is also the chance that you could submit to the general Knowledge content calendar as well. which also kind of brings up that question. I think the majority of the people on this call were speakers. What was the process in general like? Maybe pre-event, during the event, post-event? I think that y'all were saying that like you've gotten phenomenal questions. People have connected on LinkedIn. Is there anything that we could do to make the process like easier or things like that?
Can I give a shout out to Selena? She helped us.
Shout out to Selena.
She was
You
perfect.
stole my
She
words.
helped us
You stole my
throughout the
words.
process very well. And I think there are few people who are speaking on the stage, and there are few people who helped you from the back end. So that was the person because of whom our session was successful, I would say. She arranged it very well. She supported us throughout the process. So don't change that. Can I ask for Selena again next time?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Since, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I will say one more thing, and that is shout out to Earl for few suggestions on the theater, because I think that was one of the best thing which happened that we presented in theater. Thanks, Earl.
So tell the audience that might not know, there are a couple different types of presentations that you could do. We kind of mentioned this earlier. There are labs, which traditionally happen in like larger rooms, traditionally like with like laptops and stuff. There's the theaters that are, I think, 20 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on the session. And they are in front of a live audience that are like in the expo hall. And then there's also breakouts, which are like in between both of those kind of. Is that a good depiction, Earl?
Yes.
Is there one that y'all found the best to consume? Is there one that y'all found the best to put on? Like, what's your thoughts of the different types of content that you can do?
Me, for example, I am skipping the labs because I know that they will be published. They are taking a long time, which I can use for networking or attending other sessions. And I tried to attend few sessions. The one that got the theater full of Dhruv and Ashutosh was a blockbuster, and I think the success of this session was the fact that they interacted with the audience. There was a this question asking, the trivia. There was a practical example. There was some discussion, and this is what makes the audience involved, and this is what the theater become full of people interested to hear what they have to say.
Martin, the thing you said at the beginning kind of reminded me of my knowledge journey over time, because I remember my first knowledge, all I did was sessions and labs, and then the next knowledge I did not sessions and labs, but I added the hackathon, and then the next knowledge, I'm like not going to any sessions or labs and doing all this like the extra content. And so it's kind of like I don't know, at least for me, is this the same for any of you all? Like I started going like, oh yeah, you go to Knowledge for those kind of things. And then now it's like, oh, I'm going for networking. I'm going for seeing the friends that I see once or twice a year now. Like that's what my journey's been so far.
Yeah.
Absolutely the same thing with me. Last year in the Netherlands was my first knowledge. I was attending as many sessions as I could. I was not networking that much. I knew very few people. Now being an MVP, I know a lot of people. I have chatted with these people online, and now the natural continuation happened. We saw each other face to face, and we spent hours talking. And basically, at the knowledge, I attended the keynotes, few sessions that were technical and more interesting than the others. The rest, like 70% of the time, I spent chatting to Dhruv, Ashutosh, CJ, Mark, all these people. Not only Ishan. I can mention the whole MVP gang, and not only, but I think that this knowledge, for me, it was better because it expanded my knowledge. It expanded my the things that I know about the ecosystem, and it expanded my network. So now I know that all of these people are reachable. I can go to them with basically any question, and I know that they will reply. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Definitely,
also
definitely better experience for me this year.
yeah, it's also like I think a lot of people also put the whole calendar, the whole agenda full with a lot of sessions,
Yeah.
and then yeah, you're at Knowledge, and then you're already discovering, okay, it's way too much, so let's cancel some sessions. Then you're walking around, okay, the distances are too big, so cancel even more. What you're also experiencing by walking around, you're meeting so many people unexpectedly, but a lot of fun. Or you can just yeah, hop on other sessions which you didn't thought of, or you know, whatever. Or there were also new things at Knowledge which I don't think they were announced. Like there were academies and there were really small breakouts also, which was really interesting. So yeah, it's like you're putting your whole agenda full, but actually just cancel half of it. Yeah. So and it gives unexpected things. Also, I was also walking. Past some booths, and I saw the virtual agent booth. So I was watching it from I think 20-meter distance, and suddenly I was spotted. So I had to come at the booth because I do a lot of on virtual agent, of course. But just a lot of fun. But also you're seeing so many people because of this.
Yeah, I'd say for me, right, like the expo hall is like a trap, right?
Well, especially when your face is all over it. Yeah.
right. Like, I mean, that definitely doesn't help, right? Like, so you get in that thing, and it is super hard to get out of it because every 5 steps, as you were saying, Earl, like every 5-10 steps, right? Like you see someone and they want to talk to you, and so you have this conversation. It's like, and you got somewhere you want to be. You got a session scheduled, right? And you're trying to make it there. You got 15 minutes, right? And the next thing you know, you look at the phone, right? And you're 20 minutes past the start time, and it's like, well, I might as well hang out here some more, right? And so you know, and so what I realized is that if I actually want to make it to sessions, I have to avoid the expo hall for like the immediate 20 minutes prior to the session. Otherwise, I'll never make it. But you know, over the course of my knowledge journey, like I started off to like going to the labs, and now I do the labs at home for anything that's interesting to me. But I do still like the sessions because they highlight a lot of problems that I don't really get to see. Right, being a freelancer and not, you know, embedded in corporate America, I don't get to see a whole lot of corporate problems anymore, and those are really still really interesting to me. And so I like to go to the sessions to see how people are like surfacing those problems and how they're solving them.
And there was one thing like I have a different strategy, so I pick up a topic and put some sessions in my calendar and then attend those. One of the things that I really like about attending session, I got to hear from the ServiceNow CMO Michael, and he was sharing about how to improve your marketing strategy and all of those things. And he talked about how the assets planted in the expo are reusable. And then I met him in one of the partners party, and I asked for a feedback on my articles as well. That's why he suggested me certain things like you should change your articles in that manner, and I'm working on that. So that was another big plus for me to attend some of the sessions.
Geez, y'all are meeting Bill, Fred. Drew's hanging out with my boss's 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 boss.
Oh, yeah. Drew, we got to hang out with our boss. Star-studded event for y'all.
I
Also-
I had an agenda this time. So what I did is I didn't wanted to attend more technical sessions. I wanted to attend more of like networking sessions. So one of them was from Callie and Robert. Then few of them were already in theaters from the MVPs and their stories, just to get more and more motivation, because the technical things and the sessions, I think we will also get into digital libraries. But my main motto, I came with networking this time, like what you said, Earl, because last time it was running everywhere. And I wanted to recreate the photo with you, Earl and Brad. And I did that.
On the third day, the very end.
Yeah.
Well timed.
And I also want to add one more point because it was my first knowledge. So in every post, in every breakout breakpoint, and in the Slack, people are saying, please have a comfortable shoes. And I was thinking, why they're saying comfortable shoes? My shoes is comfortable, I can walk. But after day one, I realized that what this mean actually comfortable shoes. And from next day, I changed the strategy. Come on. Because there was too much walking, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, come back, attend the session, meet the people. So now I can say in double quotes, yes, if people are saying please have a comfortable shoes, take it very, very, very carefully and bring only comfortable shoes. Avoid any kind of formal things there. That is what my experience I can say here.
Man.
That's the reason I thanked Selena. This was her first advice.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to take the ball from Atul just yet because I wanted to say I have a bone to pick with most of y'all. I had a whole line of questions about the hackathon, and correct me if I'm wrong, Earl, but I believe Atul is the only hackathon participant on this entire call. Is that true? Yeah, he's like, yes, I am.
Yes, I'm here. Right. Okay, so hackathon, I can say before I planning for this knowledge, I talked to one of my senior MVP. He's not MVP this time, but I talked to him and I said, boss, there's some hackathon and event is there. What should I do? He says, good, you join. I said, but I'm not a developer. I'm just a process consultant. Then he says, come on, it's not only for development, it's for everybody. The developer who are going to be developed, they need someone who can present it, who can guide them, who can refine the requirements and put the things on the place. And then I decided, okay, let me make it or let form in the team form or go in the team format and let's plan. Then I met 5 different people from 5 different regions, from the 5 different, I can say, skill set. Some was architect, some was a junior developer, some was senior developer, some was designer, and finally we participated in the hackathon. Truly speaking, I'm if I can participate before hackathon, I was just a business process consultant, but after participating hackathon plus adding the generative AI on the top of that, I can say yes, now I can be go for the development as well. This is what my experience in hackathon. I just participated for the fun, and I can see still, or I can imagine the faces of Mark and Earl, who was judging our presentation. They're still laughing that how beautifully we presented in that pitch specifically. But overall, it was a very good experience. Don't think that what people will think about you or you can do development or not. Practically, I just did 10 to 15% work in that particular part. But my work is to motivate to the people, and the last to sum up everything, make a presentation, and put into the particular stuff. So if you're coming next year, please participate. And the benefit is that I got an extra badge as well for hackathon. And now people are less, oh my God, from where you get it? I participated, so I get it. Special dinners, special drinks, and ice creams as well at the last. It was too
we
nice
were
experience.
approved for food, drinks, ice cream. We had 2 bars to ourselves the entire time. Like, I don't know why we needed 2 for just the group of us, but I wasn't going to say no, I guess.
If you promise some craft beer next year, I'll join definitely.
Okay, I know that
Do
was
it.
one of the comments we had. People were like, we need more craft. We need craft beer. We need hard liquor, or we need energy drinks. And I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, true. We were staying up till midnight. We probably should have brought some more energy drink stuff.
Well, you know what helped keep y'all going was the singing right next door. That helped keep everyone jazzed and pumped up. For those that didn't know, the karaoke was right next door and they overlapped a bit. And the overlap, I think, was something we'll we'll think about next year, maybe not doing.
But Lauren, practically, but Lauren, practically, I like this combination. Music is going on, and I'm able to participate. I'm able to put my mind and thoughts with the music and the work as well. Practically, I like very much. But yes, at the end, it was getting more disturbing because people are not able to concentrate on the work. But for me, it was a good.
There you go. We'll clip that, send it to Chuck.
Atul was one of our
Yes.
Atul's team was one of our finalist teams for the hackathon. But I'm gonna post the hackathon winners blog next week, early next week, and so you'll all be able to see his pitch video. But the pitch video is hilarious. I'm so excited for people to see it. First of all, it starts like with Atul describing their stuff. Like, with, if you think Atul has like presence right now speaking, 200% Atul was speaking about the app. Then it cuts suddenly to them dragging their teammates across the floor as an example of what was part of their app. And I'm just like, what is happening with this video? And it was just amazing to watch. Because we, as much as we joke about like all the stuff that we're doing in the hackathon and like all of us being developers or developer MVPs or developer advocates, the one of the main things, like I don't think people realize is that the developer advocacy team is actually part of marketing. And so we're not under engineering, we're not under product or anything like that, but we're under marketing. And one of the things that we emphasize at the hackathon is, hey, as much as we can do development, like there is an importance, almost half the job for some people would say, is that you have to be able to sell what you're making. And when you combine these like technical abilities with your ability to create content, to put a podcast on, to write a blog, to do all these things, speak in front of groups of people, even if you're not good at speaking, like you still have stuff. You as technical people have a wealth of knowledge that needs to be out there in the world. And even if you don't think you're there yet, there's so many people on this screen around here that want to help you get to that point. And so if you're watching this and you are intrigued by all these extra things that you might have not got to do at Knowledge that everyone on the screen is talking about, that could be you, right? Like that's what I keep trying to get at. And but yeah, it was fun watching Atul's team and a lot of other teams like have fun with their pitches, because traditionally hackathon pitches used to be very dry because they were just trying to sell it. Like they were trying to like do the here's what we built thing, and then I made the comment like, your judges want to be entertained, so remember that. And
it's so midnight for them too.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close on time, so I guess if you've made it this far in the live stream, I'll reward you with some tea. And this is where I'll get to a point where I'll ask y'all, what is the biggest thing that you would maybe possibly change for Knowledge24? And I will add an anecdote to this. The best use of your time is mentioning things that Earl or I could help change, right? So we can't change the fact that the venues are huge. We can't change that they have to host, yeah, you're probably going to be walking a bunch. But is there anything that we could, give feedback on that could help further elevate the event, right, for participants next year?
I definitely have one point. The CreatorCon keynote should be moved up.
Oh, definitely. In time.
Yeah, in time, because there were I think it adds more value, but less people were there. And if you move up, because if I know half of them left on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning after the morning keynote, but I think that keynote, if you can influence it, please move it up.
We're gonna try.
Ashutosh, do you mean move it up like time or earlier on the day or a day earlier already or
all of it?
Day or time, anything is fine, but not in the second half, because that second half was killing. And for me, it was one of the best things to attend, and we waited for it. And I think many developers left. Few people only have 1 day to attend or 2 days to attend. So I think it should be somewhere in the middle. Either do it on a middle day or last day at the morning after the keynote. I don't know, but that is one of the suggestions.
I want it to be a morning one because that's when the most people attend the keynotes.
Yeah.
And more hours for karaoke, please.
Yes.
We did it perfectly wrong.
As long as the hackathon's in the same exact venue.
Yeah.
We're okay.
And complete rounds of Family Feud games. We were very close, and it was not the 5th round, so we have to.
Some more rounds of Family Feud. That's a good one.
Or maybe few more these kind of games should be added, because it is also like I can say networking place. I participate in the 5 different MVPs, and we compete with the 5 different MVPs. So it's a good exposure. Maybe not the similar format, but something similar on the day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. Kind of half an hour, 45 minutes will be more good actually.
Love that.
Yep.
I had a great knowledge, so I don't have anything to say for you guys to improve. It was amazing. Do it again next year.
I had a strategy. So CJ sat next to my boss's boss during the MVP dinner.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Piera.
And I was the one who put all the name tags down on our table. I was like, CJ's gonna have a great time. I'm gonna put him next to my boss.
No, that was awesome, and I talked you up a lot too, Earl.
It was a good time.
Well, how about this as a fun last question? What was your favorite piece of swag that you brought home from the conference? And this can be from partners. This can be from ServiceNow store. What was your favorite? I see Martin's already wearing one of his pieces. That's nice little self promo.
Yes, I am. By the way, it was not easy to get this T-shirt. You know, we had this game with the barcode scanning and stuff. But my favorite piece was the MVP badge. Apart from it, the number of packages of M&Ms is also something. I'm now fighting with myself. Should I eat it or should I keep it as a swag?
For me, I'm more maybe I'm sensitive. Yeah. For me, the most important part was the handwritten things from you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's here on my wall at the moment. So that was the swag of the knowledge.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I would say that was the swag of my life. Like, that's the best swag that I have ever got. And I have sent it for getting it framed. And it would be there in like 2 days now.
Maybe for the audience, I can reiterate like what we are talking about. Like, we are talking about a blank, a greeting, handwritten greetings, signatures of all the dev advocates, and many people from the dev or the community, let's say. And a wishes wishing us, saying that, okay, you are doing good, please keep up the work, and good to see you here, and we wish to see you next year as well. So that was it. That is what we are talking about. And we are not talking about 2 or 5 people. We are talking about, I think, more than 40 or 45?
40, right. 45, approximate.
Yeah. And they wrote all this for all those 40 people. And I can say it was Dear Ashutosh. So I can say that it was written for everyone. The name can't be repeated.
The even better thing is that not only Dear Ashutosh and Dear Martin is the different, but the whole message was different and personalized for the people.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also these things that just give you the feeling of a huge appreciation. It's something so small, but you know, we're putting so much time and energy in being an MVP or becoming an MVP, but things like this, even so, a handwritten card like that, it's amazing. And obviously we also got different swag, and also the general attendees could get a lot of swag also by scanning our badges, right? And there were indeed M&Ms or drinks or even free passes for Knowledge23 already. So there was a lot, but I definitely have to agree on the handwritten message and the small MVP pin. And we got some awards, and I think Nia actually had to bring an extra bag.
So just so you know, Nia, I believe, won multiple things at the Dev MVP dinner. She also won the Devi Award, which was another big award. Did she win something else? I think.
Yes.
Well,
She won our hearts.
She won our hearts.
Cut that. Give that to Nia.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Nia, and I'll love to talk about. I'll talk about Nia as much as you all want me to talk about Nia.
Yeah.
But Nia embodies a lot of what we want the community to be about, right? So Nia had multiple times on the stage for the MVP awards because she was proactive about nominating her peers. And one of those things about we're trying to do better is lift up the people that lift other people up. And Nia embodies that. And you all embody that in a lot of different ways. And that's why you were honored during the MVP dinner and MVP awards. And just throughout the expo floor with faces on the walls and stuff like that, we acknowledge that we want to be a team that reflects that the people are the most important. And ServiceNow, in my experience, has been good about saying we value the people at the company and we value the community. And that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me keep going, even when we're tired and when we're busy and we have a million things to do, is when we get to see what impact you all have on the community, then all I want to do is lift you all up. That's all we ever want to do on our team is. And so as you say thank you to the handwritten notes, which is another initiative by Selena. So Selena, shout out to you again. But like,
Selena.
as we talk about those kind of things and you're saying thank you for doing those things, just know that those things are a reflection of what great work you all are doing, because that's why those things have been made. That's why the MVP dinner has happened. That's why those thank you notes were written, is because of the things that you all are doing for the community. And if we can keep lifting you all up and showing you off to the world as pillars of our community, then we're going to keep doing that. And like I said at the very start of the week to you all, I hope that dinner and the awards is just the beginning of our thank you to you for the rest of the year and into the future, no matter what. And so that's, I mean, right? That's, does anybody else want to add to that about what community, like that's the focus, and how does knowledge tie into that kind of focus?
And that's why you should contribute to community, right? Like the love and the affection you get, the respect that you get for your work is second to none. Like you can't. ServiceNow community is special. I'm a part of some other communities as well, but ServiceNow is quite special.
I mean, this for me, it's all about the community, right? It's all about the people. It's about the people who were here before me, right? Like who made the way so that I can be successful in this space, right? And giving back to the people who are coming after me, right? So that they can also be successful. And the brotherhood, right? Like, you know, that is everyone that's in the community now, right? And I use that in a very gender neutral way, because there's so many people, right, of just with so many different backgrounds. And that's the great thing about knowledge, right? It's just seeing so many different people and having them come up to you and tell you their story, right? And say, hey, I saw you at, or I heard you on, or can you help me with, or you know, you inspired me. And it's like, what? Right? And then, you know, just all of that. I mean, it's all about the people for me, right? Like that's why I'm here. That's why I do this.
I can relate. And that feeling when a guy stops you at Knowledge, just a random guy, and asks you for a selfie, and it's saying, okay, I'm reading your answers, your articles, they are helping me solve my issues, so can we have a selfie because I follow you for quite a long time now. The feeling is amazing. I mean, this is something that makes me do it day by day.
Yeah.
Right, correct. So just want to add my experience as well. When I was planning for this knowledge, so people asked me that what you will do there and why you're going there. I said we have a MVP dinner with the community and other members. Come on, it's a dinner. I said no, maybe it's a dinner for you, but it's an honor for me to go there and meet them. And when we reach there, a special a place for us, special gifts for us, and maybe people will laugh that what you bring back, I bring the menu card as well from there, because it was personalized for the MVPs only. Even though it's just a menu card, but for me it's not a menu card, it's a memory for me, because it was personalized, printed. And again, as Martin said, definitely meeting with people is one of the best thing. I train a lot of people in my trainings, but I met my student in the knowledge itself, and he said, Atul, you're in knowledge. I said, yes, let's connect and let's meet up. So this is what. And don't think that it is just about one day journey. It's a long journey. I deliver a session on how you become MVP and how my journey with MVP. So start contributing. There's a lot of people. It start maybe 2 lines, maybe 3 lines, and you reach with the blogs and the videos as well. So it's all about the knowledge sharing. Share, and as much you can share the knowledge. This is what last at my side.
Well, I can't thank y'all enough. Obviously, it's always a little nerve-wracking doing live commentary of like, tell us what you liked and what we should change. It's always like a little bit of heebie-jeebies going into those conversations. But I cannot tell you, especially from this being my first time on the marketing side, how much I'm very thrilled that when I was a customer, I've helped, like our team has helped contribute to that similar type of experience to this day that I felt like back in like Knowledge 2016. Like I'm glad it just keeps getting better and better. So we are quickly running out of time, much to my chagrin. I'm having a blast, but I don't want to keep y'all too late or too early on your Friday or Saturday. So with that, I think I will kick off the drink ratings. My champagne is just a nice standard Corbel, never too good, never too bad. I'll give it a 4, but with how everyone seemed to have enjoyed Knowledge so much, I'll give it a 4.5.
I have the butter rum espresso, solid 4.5.
The Bacalar beer goes for 3.5. But since the live coding happy hour was successful, it goes for 4.
So my juice, I still not figure out which fruit it tastes now. So a solid 4.
Okay, so for me, the coffee made by my wife, so I cannot give less than 5, so it's 5 only. Yes, you're right. It should be 5.5. Right.
I've got the Grand Prestige, and I actually grabbed another one.
Double fisting
It's a 5, and it's a quarter point success, right? So it's a 5.25. So
For me, Hatokian 4.5. Smooth.
Diet Dr. Pepper. There we go. Yeah, that's a 3. Yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank y'all so much for attending today as an audience member and also as the panel members. As a quick plug, we are in between releases at the moment, but believe it or not, Vancouver content will be very kind of shortly starting to come out. So keep eyeballs out for that. In the meantime, if you liked what you heard today and you possibly didn't attend Knowledge, like Earl had mentioned, we have the whole digital experience. It is free for anyone to join. I had the link, 1 second. There we go. So if you would like to see the recorded versions of content, unfortunately, not every single thing was recorded, but all the keynotes were. A bunch of the labs and sessions were as well. So go ahead, check it out. Let us know your feedback. And of course, be sure, we don't do this enough because it always feels a bit cringe, but like and subscribe the channel. We are trying to grow this community here as well. It means a lot to us to see that number keep ticking upward as well. So with that, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here, and to our audience, thank you as well, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.